Day 5 of 30 days of commentaries out of my book, Re-Education of the Negro, Necessary Conversations on Race, Sex, and Culture. But before I wanted to play an ode to Queen Corinne. She was a victim of police brutality. Go watch day 4, and this will make sense. How long will we mourn you? Until we join you, Queen. Today's commentary was written September 2014, and for context, Barack Obama was president. Today's commentary, Black Socrates speaks, I'll hit a girl. I ain't no punk, I'll hit a girl. I don't remember which comedian once said this, but it's a phrase I will often invoke in jest when a female friend seems to be challenging me. I often say things said in jest or under the influence of alcohol usually harbor some elements of truth in them, but I can honestly say I would never hit a woman. And when I invoke this phrase, it is strictly for laughs. Unfortunately, this is far from a laughing matter when we consider that 1 in 4 women can expect to be a victim of domestic violence in their lifetime. As a matter of fact, domestic violence is the leading cause of injury to women between the ages of 15 to 44 in the U.S., more than car accidents, muggings, and rapes combined. With statistics like this, one might expect national campaigns on this issue, similar to breast cancer. I could imagine LeBron James dunking over someone in the NBA All-Star game in bright purple shoes, with the shoes worn to signify and bring awareness to domestic violence. However, you probably won't see a campaign like this today. Why? As a matter of fact, even if you're a young, talented female R&B singer and emerge battered from a case of domestic violence, some will come to the defense of the man and say, don't jump to conclusions. Truth be told, we didn't simply ask what happened between Chris Brown and Rihanna. We asked, what did she do? The latter question alone illustrates how we view domestic violence as a private matter, when in truth, the proper attention could end it. We come from a patriarchal society, and at one point historically in America, a man could legally chastise not only his children, but his wife in public with a belt. Both acts will get a man thrown in jail today, unless, of course, you are Chris Brown and the incident occurs inside the privacy of your car, I guess. This is not an attack on Chris Brown as much as it is an attack on society's tolerance for domestic violence. Again, historically, there was a time in American society when it was okay for a man to beat his wife publicly. It was also acceptable for 2 men to settle their difference via a gun duel. Andrew Jackson once killed Charles Dickinson in a duel some years before he became the 7th president of the United States. Today, could Barack Obama have become the president of the United States had he openly shot and killed someone in a duel? Absolutely not. As unthinkable as this example is, you might think domestic violence is much more complicated since women often choose to stay in these volatile situations. I suppose you've never been a victim of domestic violence. In that case, you might even suggest the women in this situation simply leave without realizing that 70% of the violence against women in domestic violence cases occur after separation. Clearly, their fears are warranted. Often, domestic violence is passed down through generations to the aggressor, and in some cases, the victims even invoke the physical altercation as a proof of their mate's love for them. It needs to be understood that even when physical abuse occurs by either party, the relationship at that point is dysfunctional and unhealthy. It is imperative to seek counseling for a one-time situation or dissolve the relationship immediately if it continues. Everyone needs to understand that we cannot possess that which we love. This misunderstanding leads some of us to emotionally respond to an unloving manner to our mate. This misunderstanding leads some of us to emotionally respond in an unloving manner to our mate. As one of my callers once mentioned on the Mental Dialogue podcast, we need to treat men placing their hands on a woman in a forceful manner as a cowardly act. Andrew Jackson killed Dickinson in an agreed-upon duel because Dickinson had accused him of cheating on a horse bet and insulted Jackson's wife. Jackson was considered a real man in his day and stood up for his and his wife's honor. Today, every boy must be taught there is no honor in hitting a woman, no matter the circumstance. As a matter of fact, what should we consider a man today that will strike a woman? I say a straight punk. Just my 3 cents. All I ask is that you think. And here are the accompanying discussion questions with this piece. So watch this dialogue and discuss these questions. Number one, does our society condone domestic violence to a degree, or is it too complicated to suggest that? Number two, have you ever experienced or known someone who has experienced domestic violence and not spoken up? Why? Let me read that one again. Have you ever experienced or known someone who has experienced domestic violence and not spoken up? Why? Answer these questions, y'all. Time for real conversations on race, sex, and culture. See y'all tomorrow. All I ask is that you think.